Great stuff. Congratulations on Enphase Shy, but we're still not done. You had another big one today.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I did. I had 2 of the 4. Well, yeah. I take 2.5 because I have 2.
Yeah. How can we forget? We made like 75%. How can we forget about it? Tell me about this month. You got another monster.
Yeah. So I got out the snow because AMD had earnings, and I have this little rule. Like I play my expiration dates are so close. I can't carry both positions, right? Because that's just too much. And if it's wrong, that can be very detrimental.
Right.
I chose to carry Enphase because I had more conviction in that one than Snowflake. And if you go to the daily chart, I will tell you why. So on the daily chart, you see on the daily chart, you had that 50-day moving average.
Yep.
And we didn't break under it yesterday. We tested it, and it held. Yep. So I said, I'm just going to get out of that position because if AMD earnings are good, then we should bounce back up.
Yeah.
While Enphase had bad earnings, SSDG had bad earnings. So that was like my primary one if I had to pick. But some members stayed in those 175 puts, and those went like 250, 300%. I did not. But what I did do was, because it was on the watch list, I was watching it. And I wanted a push back up into that 50-day moving average, but we didn't get it. But what we did get was a little slight intraday double top at 173. So I entered that trade around 950 after the break of VWAP, right? Because I want to get that confirmation. I put my stop at higher day, right? So if we get back up there, we break it. So that's my stop. And those went from
$4 and change.
$4.65 all the way to $8.25. And I'm still holding a small piece of that. So from 282 to 9, and then this was the 170 put for next week, because on a Wednesday I go a week out. But some members took the 170 puts for this week. I did not, and I did not alert those. I alerted the ones for next week, and they still went up 75%.
This is just such a great move to the downside, and I got to tell you, I really the part about this trade that I like the most is because one of the things that I have noticed in your trading, Shy, that I think is one of your main strengths is that you are an extremely confident trader. And if you have to be a confident trader in order to be successful. You can't second guess yourself in this game. You second guess yourself, you're dead. You have to have an idea, trust in the idea, and then go after it and attack it. And this is an idea that you felt very good about. And even though it did not get back to the 50-day, you switched up and said, okay, well, there's a double top. And I believe in this play that I'm going to enter the trade now, even though it's maybe $2 lower. I don't know exactly what the 50-day was. Maybe it's even $2 lower than where your initial entry was. You got into it yesterday. You got out of it because of earnings. Then you get the gap down today, but you stuck with the idea because you were confident in it. And one of the things that I noticed in your trading is that your entries, specifically your entries, are entries of a very confident trader, because you have no problem entering a position when the stock is going in the opposite direction. And that's how you get the best executions. The reason why a lot of inexperienced traders do not get good executions and they miss out on a lot of profit, because a professional trader will say $100 is resistance. So when the stock gets to 100, I'm going to get short. Or in your case, I'm going to buy put options.
Yeah.
And the stock is maybe at 98. Then the stock goes from 98 to 98.50 to 99 to 99.50. And the inexperienced trader says, wait a second, I said I wanted to short it at 100, but the stock's going up, so I'm going to wait. Well, of course,
that's kind of like Enphase on that reload, right? A lot of people probably bailed on that, right? They're bailing at that, oh, we're over 155, it's going to 160. I see a double top, I'm going to reload it. Yep. You know, and like, it sounds cliche, but I learned my trading from TTG, meaning that I learned my trader from technically you, right? So, and the options traded part of it from like Chris, right? Yeah. Like just learning how to calculate stop losses and stuff. And then I put my own spin on it. And then Jess as well, like the way she uses the fibs and stuff. So you take all three of y'all, put them in a melting pot. Right. And then there's me. And that's a great thing about TTG is that you don't know what your trading identity is until you figure out what it is. There's a fine line. You say this all the time between being confident and being cocky. I live somewhere in the middle. Right, because you gotta have some swag when you trade.
Yeah,
if you don't trade with me, I don't get 250% bangers all the time, right? But I get pretty good trades. I counted my 100% wins from January to now, and we're in double digits, well into it, right? But that's because I'm not afraid, and I trust myself, right? I trust myself, and that's because of TTG. And listen, my biggest fear, I had a one-on-one. My member asked me, you seem so confident. What's your fear? My fear is calling out bad trades to the members, right? But I know that at the end of the day, that's going to happen sometimes. Yep. But trades like this, one trade can make your whole mortgage, for a few months. Exactly. And between Snowflake and Enphase, I don't know what else y'all want from me. I want to hear it. You had an opportunity to catch either trade.
Multiple opportunities.
I
mean, because even Snowflake, you could have, 45 minutes later, the stock, people could have got back into.
Oh, yeah, because when it dropped,
the stock sat there for almost an hour.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, look, you could have entered that position anywhere in here. You look where you entered it, and you look at where the price of the stock was an hour later. And then if
you go to around 11 o'clock, you'll see it test that initial morning low, and that's where some of the members entered again, like they reloaded on that rejection of the initial morning low.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you could have took right there. So like when we tested and rejected, some members reloaded. I was still in a pretty decent sized position, so I didn't. But these are things that you learn, right? Testing it into, you're already into some profit. If we reject again, you reload and then you write it down.
Just absolutely awesome.
It's textbook.
It really is.
Triangle inverse.
Yep, exactly. And you know what? And this is also an example right here where an inexperienced trader is going to stop out of their position. An inexperienced trader will stop out of their position right here on the break above VWAP. You get this increase in volume, and inexperienced like, oh no, because now I'm red. Right, you see, there was a moment there where maybe the trade was red,
but I took profit, right? Because we trade in tiers.
Exactly.
So when I took profit, I was safe. Like again, you have to show me, and there's a line in between being confident and cocky. But if I believe, I have conviction. I had conviction in this yesterday, but we didn't break that 50-day. If I have conviction today, then the stock has to show me that I am wrong.
Yeah.
So we got a 250, a 70 small piece on Snowflakes that we're still holding. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I'm looking for Enphase 145. You get back there, I think you can engage that short. Stops at 146. You risk $1. You get stopped out. Look for 150, and then stops at 152. And that's on Enphase. As long as SCDG is weak, the whole sector, solar is going to be weak. SCDG.
Yeah, I'm watching this thing. Don't you worry.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a partner in crime now. Right, so
great.
We're going to be looking at SCDG and Enphase.
And if you want to trade FSLR, 197 is your level. So I don't. How do I know this? Because I trade these all the time. I don't have to really look at the charts to kind of tell. But that 197 level is going to be your level.